Hi everyone, this is Tal back again with another Docsie tutorial video. This is part 3 of a 3-part series in which I'm showing how to add in the Docsie plugins onto your documentation portals. Now in the last 2 episodes we talked about the display version picker, the display language picker, which are connected to the navigation of the documentation and changing the languages and version of your documentation. We also talked about the display section anchors and the display footer navigation, which allow you to go back and forth between different documentations. And on part 2, we talked about the code highlights, the search capabilities that you can add as a plugin, and share to social networks, which allows you to share to various social medias, various sections of the documentation, you or your customers using the documentation, or whoever you have made this documentation for. Now today we are going to talk about image previews, document metadata, and auto highlight sections. Now let's start with image previews. Now I'm not sure if this particular portal has any images, so let's add an image just for fun. Let's go here, quick install guides. Yes, so I was correct, there are no images in this Docsie portal, so let's add one. It's very easy. So I'm going to add an image right here. You can click here to add the image, which I've shown in another video, and let's do coding. This, by the way, is connected to Unsplash. So I'm going to pick a an image here. Let's use this one. Perfect. Now we have an image. And now we have to update our knowledge portal with the new deployments and plugins. So let's go to update. And let's go to image previews, which I'm going to show what that does in a second after it loads. Great. Now that that is loaded, let us open this documentation portal. Perfect. So this is the image. Image preview allows our customers who are viewing our documentation to get a little zoom in, which is great if they need to see certain images. By the way, this picture makes this documentation look a lot better from what I've noticed. Great. It's a very useful feature when you want your customers to zoom in your pictures. Now let us go back and add a few more plugins. Documentation metadata. Now let's update this deployment, and I'm going to show you what that does. Great. Now let's click this open. Now the metadata is this information right here, which states the version, the published date, and sometimes if there are any updates, it also states that at the bottom. In some cases you may need this, especially if you're updating information on a regular basis for your customers. This is extremely useful and just a fun and very useful added feature. Now the last plugin which I will show today is the auto highlight section. Let's just get that uploaded. Perfect. That's it, it's loaded. And let's click it open. Now the auto highlighted section is very simple. Now what this plugin does is as you zoom in, you can see these are starting to track what page you're on. And that is basically, you see that here, highlights where you are on the documentation. So you can imagine if you have a ton of articles within your documentation, a ton of headers specifically, or even articles, this will track where you are on the documentation. Let's take another look at another documentation and see how this affects a documentation with a lot more table of contents and articles. Great, so this is a Docsie blog that I wrote not too long ago, and it has various steps, as you can see here. Let's do a quick publish via deployments. Let's go to deployments, configure a new deployment. Now remember, first of all, let me find this here. It's located in blogs. Portal. So let's use this one to show. And let's see. Remember, you have the plugins here for once you are ready to publish your product documentation. So in this case, the book is Customized Docsie Portal, which I found within my books and shelves. And I'm gonna highlight all of these just so we can see what it looks like with all of these highlighted. And we're gonna create web portal. And also on another video, I'm gonna talk about the JWT token, which is a new feature we've added recently to add security to our portal deployments. We're gonna get into that in another video, but meanwhile, let us create this portal. Great, and it just takes a few seconds. You can have a sip of tea meanwhile. Perfect, now let us scroll down. And this is the latest documentation we just published, and we can just double check that everything is checkmarked. Okay, great. Let us go there. And as you can see right here, these are the steps that I want my customers to follow so that they can customize their knowledge portal. And as we scroll down, each step is being highlighted. Now the reason why this is important is because if you have a ton of documentation within a single book, your customers can track where they are within the documentation, and they can navigate even without these highlights, but this actually shows them exactly what page they're at, so they don't have to kind of second guess, because if the names are similar in certain things, this feature takes away any of those issues and allows for easier use of your documentation. So now that we have went through all of the plugins that are currently set within your documentation portal, I want you to play around with these and see which ones you would like to add to your knowledge portals. Making dynamic knowledge portals are extremely important for versatility and having customers who enjoy reading your documentation and product documentation, learning about the information they need when they need to access it. And if you have any other questions about Docsie and how we can help, please contact us at hello@docsie.io. And also please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you and have a nice day.